Hi, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm going to wait here a second for everyone to get on. How we all doing? I'm so excited about our topic tonight. I think we could all use a little inspiration, so that's the goal. Let me move my camera a little. So, how's everybody doing? Are we having fun yet? I love these. I love these meetups with us. If you could guys give me a little thumbs up, I think you can hear me. I was having some technical difficulties. I got on a little early, so just for that reason, I'm pretty tech savvy. But anyway, well, hi, Ralph and Christine and Melissa, Linda, Patty. It's like Miss Romper Room, Miss Barbara. So, yeah, all kinds of crazy things going on in our world today. So, I just want to give you guys a little inspiration. So, for those of you who are new, I'm Marianne Goldweber. I own a personal and spiritual development center called The Village. I'm a spiritual teacher and professional medium, and I've been doing this work for over 25 years. So I come to you live every week on Wednesdays to offer a little insight, spiritual insight, some inspiration, some motivation, just so that, as we work through these crazy times, that you feel like you're connected. And that's important to me to make you feel like, somebody's listening or somebody's out here doing things. So, that's what I'm doing. And so, for those of you who are new, I upload these live feeds to YouTube. And so I have a YouTube channel. It's under Marianne Goldweber. And if you go ahead there and subscribe, then if you don't catch us live, then you can definitely watch us again. I archive all my videos there. So, encourage your friends to subscribe to some of the videos I do. Sometimes I have interviews. I'm setting up some interviews with some people too on Wednesdays so that you can get to meet other amazing people doing really cool things out in the world so that you know that there are good things going on out there. You know, that it's not all mayhem and tragedy, that there are nice folks doing really cool things. So I'm going to check in on my phone because that's what I do when I look down, is I'm looking at who's here tonight. And so I'm watching that too. So yeah. So we've got Linda and Pat, Ramona, Paula, Nicole. And so thanks for joining me, everybody. Yeah, this is so much fun. So just, if nobody told you today, I love you. I think you're important. And so keep the faith. So that's my little personal message to everybody. And I'm so grateful to all of you that follow me all the time, who followed me for many years. And for our new people, thanks for joining us. Now you're part of our village. So a village is really a collection, really, of people that I've just, met over all this time. When I do have a personal spiritual development center locally here in Cleveland, Ohio, they come in person. We do events, I do classes, and all kinds of cool things. But because of COVID, I'm doing everything virtually now. So I do have a list of classes that I posted today on Facebook. But if you go to my website under events, you'll see the classes that I have posted. This Sundays is one of my favorite, which is uh, understanding your empathic connection. So this is for everybody who's way too sensitive, who's feeling way too much, and how to not, remain peaceful amidst the chaos. That's what we're learning how to do. So it's a wonderful class, especially for those of you who are in service industries like social workers or nursing and medical, um, you know, uh, law enforcement, any any industry that serves a population in need. Because when people are in need or in an experience, especially a tragic one, it's that's a lot of energy to stand in, especially currently for are front end people, and I just really want to thank you all for serving out there. I'm very grateful. So yeah, what's new in my world? No, I'm not on TikTok yet. My son keeps telling me to get on TikTok. I'm on a huge learning curve. Who actually said that? Somebody texted that. Yeah, we'll have to get that. We'll have to get there. TikTok. Oh my God. Yeah, that's a whole nother animal with a whole nother learning curve. So yeah, making those and watching those are two very different things. So I'm working on it. Too much going on. There's a lot of tragedy going on. So a lot of the work I do is as a medium is I help people connect to that divinity and help them through grief and all the things that come with, being a spiritual being in this human experience. And so I do parties and events and things like that, and I work with clients one on one. So if anything comes up that you want to talk about further, just call me on the phone and schedule some time for yourself. Currently, my sessions are $60 for an hour. Normally, they're 80 to 100, depending. So yeah, so we just got to stay connected, and this is really a lot of really good things going on, and I'm just here to share with you kind of how I stay inspired and how to just be positive, in spite of the negativity that's going on. Although I feel like, the tide is turning and things are shifting a little bit. But it's again, it's kind of a PTSD thing. We've been isolated, I feel like there's a little bit of light under the tunnel. Oh, under the tunnel. At the end of the tunnel, there is things going on that are, more positive lately. And again, with the vaccine coming out and everybody starting to get vaccinated, it's not going to be long before we're back out there. So I'm currently looking for a space. So if any of you guys know anyone I need a live workspace that has maybe some property so that we can do events. So if anybody has anybody who wants to turn me on to them, I'll give them a call. I'm looking for something in, a little outside of the city, Cleveland proper. So I'm looking in the suburbs, west suburbs. So yeah, I mean, that's what I do to keep myself excited. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight. So let's see who's on. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and text them to me. I put my phone number on the event. My phone number is 216-324-2657. If you text me your name and your question, I'm going to take some call-ins. So if you're open to me calling you while we're live here, then then I can do that and give you a call when it's time. So let's see who's calling me now. Make sure you give me your name. Yeah, so make sure you put your name in there because I don't have all of you stored in my phone. Some of you I do. I have your number, but for the new people that have never called me before or texted me, I don't necessarily have you registered there. So anyway, shine. I'm a shiny person. I like bling. I'm all about the glitter. And this is my power month. This is a Pisces month. It's also I'm a metal ox in Chinese astrology, and this is my year. So that's usually one of those full circle moments where you have to kind of digest, the year prior and what's happened, so that you can. Um, hold on one second. Somebody's having technical difficulty. So anyway. So yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about. How to shine, how to be inspired, how to stay positive in a negative world. I am a very positive person now. One of the good things about faith or having this spiritual life is that I don't really personalize this human existence like I used to. So, most of us aren't aware of the fact that we're really souls who are taking a human experience. Everybody in this world is a soul who's taking a human experience so that they can learn through the interactions that they have throughout their lifetime and hopefully awaken to the fact that, we really are these divine beings who are here on a mission. And the problem is the mission is secret. And so when we reach these cataclysmic places in our life, whether it's a tragedy like a divorce or job loss or something that you don't expect, um, and if and that's when people just don't know what to do. So it becomes problematic and it initiates a grief process. So that's what I do is I meet people at that place. So when they experience an actual death of a person, again, none of us have been really taught about death or life or what we're really here for. And, this great awakening that we're having in our world, a lot of people just don't have that information. And so that's why I teach. I help people see this from this much higher spiritual perspective so that you then see it in this elevated way so you can see it more objectively. And that way you don't take a lot of this nitty gritty human stuff personal. Because everybody's down here pooflinging and nobody's taking ownership for their existence and they're blaming, blaming, blaming. And, but when you have that kind of spiritual understanding, it creates a peace in your life. So when we uncomplicate our life and we work through the experiences that we've had as humans in this journey, and we can get to that seeing them as lessons versus things that have happened to you. How I see them is that they're not things that have happened to you, they're things that have happened for you. And ultimately, it's what makes us stronger, more resilient, um, all those things. So again, I've met a lot of you guys during those moments, and I'm so grateful that you've trusted me to in your most intimate moments of grief and tragedy. And again, what doesn't kill us does make us stronger people. It really does. It's just we don't have enough people that are really loving and supporting us. Having that support, that unconditional, non judgmental support is so important. And so when we do get together, there's a whole village of you guys. So, it's like this beautiful ripple effect. So, as I've awakened and, made peace with my existence here in this life, and I use those tools now to teach others how to survive those things and how to thrive, not just survive, but thrive, going from victims to victors. For me, that's so important. And as most of you know, your pain ultimately does become part of your purpose. It's what creates compassion. It what allows us to understand, that where people are. And so, yeah, that's what I'm doing. So on here, I'm here to motivate you every week, just to stay connected during this time where we're so disconnected. And, again, when we're sitting alone in our head too long by ourselves, there's nothing to challenge your thinking. So it's very important that we really are conscious about what we're feeding ourselves, whether we're, physically, mentally, or otherwise. And so that's why we need to have this convo tonight, is just how to stay inspired and how to shine, um, in spite of what's going on. Again, we can't control it, and the divine is on it. God's on it, as fucked up as it looks. The universe is behind the scenes helping people awaken and helping people rise into a place of being leaders and heroes. And heroes don't always wear a cape. They're just normal folks who just, decided to rise. So I know so many of those people. So if you get a chance to really pay attention to the events I do and the people that I have interviewed on here, supporting those people that are out in the trenches doing this work every day. So I'm very blessed to know people that are very, very connected in the communities. And so there's always ways to, serve, to help, other people. And that's kind of what I do. I inspire people to get out of their pity pot and get involved in your own life and get involved in the world. So that's what we're doing. So who we got on here? Let's see who we got. Well, hi Fawn. I had a really good day today. It's been a very strange week. So just so you guys know, we just experienced the new moon, or excuse me, I apologize, the full moon. And that was a big one. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's huge. The February moon is always a big one. And my birthday was last week, um so yeah, it was this, it's a return. I'm coming back to the another year experienced. For me, this is a kind of a milestone when it was 60. So I can't believe I'm 60 years old, but anyway. So but all the astrology and everything right now is all about change and upheaval, and so it feels like we're marching through quicksand. It's really slow moving, but we're not really supposed to be out there yet. Okay. So all the astrology is really about tidying up all the details, finishing the past, taking the experiences and letting go of getting the lesson out of the experiences, and then working through the process of letting go of that emotion and being done with the past, because those are just tools for the future, guys. And so, if we want to manifest new things in our life and we want to manifest abundant things, and I'm not just talking about money and stuff, we're really finding that less is more. I don't know what you've learned over this last year, but being home and stuck in our spaces and not really being able to be out, I think people have realized that, we don't need as much as we thought we did. And we can live without a lot of things that we've had to go without. And the thing I miss the most is really people. That's what I miss. I don't miss shopping. I don't miss, all these other, extraneous things. I miss performing music with my son. I miss being out with people. I miss doing outreach work. That's the stuff. And so yeah, as soon as we all get vaccinated, we can get back out there and get this herd immunity thing done, and hopefully we'll all be able to get back out there. I'm looking again to open the development center, so that way we can come in person and have classes and meetings. I also do my women's circle once a month, and we're always having some kind of a party or event. You can have your own private party. Currently, I'm doing private parties where I can create this Zoom, and then you can plug me into your television set, and then your folks can join onto the Zoom meeting, and I can channel from right there in the comfort of your home and mine. So what I do defies energy, defies space and time. So I don't need to be with you to be able to do this work. I know that people can't wrap their head around that, but energy doesn't have walls. Okay, so I don't need to be with you in order to feel your energy, which how amazing is that, right? So anyway, so that's why we're doing our Care of the Empath class. I am highly, highly, almost debilitatingly empathic, and I've had to learn how to manage feeling all those energies. So yeah, so let's see who we got. We've got Lisa, Monica. Hey, Dennis, Paulette. Aw, thanks, Monica. Hi, Dee Dee. Susie, my Susie. How you doing, girl? So crazy. I just had a conversation about what is happening cosmically earlier today. Definitely running through quicksand. Oh no, totally. So our nature as humans is to push. When things aren't going our way, I just posted about this yesterday. I had a series of events that stopped me from doing some things Saturday. I was actually on my way to get my first COVID shot. Excuse me. And oh my God. And my car broke down literally as I pulled in the parking lot. And so rather than get all upset about my to-do list, I had this huge to-do list that I wanted to do on Saturday. And this was, I was out in the car, I was getting this done, then I was going to go do some errands and blah, blah, blah. Well, none of that was going to happen in the timeline I thought it was going to happen in. Okay, so I had to wait for a tow truck. I had to wait for my son. But while I was waiting, I was saying, okay, God's got me here for a reason. Things aren't going according to Marianne Goldweber's plan, so therefore there must be a higher diviner plan in store for me. So rather than getting all wigged out and being an asshole about it, I just stopped and I started to just really pay attention to what was going on around me. Well, I saw this beautiful lady and a bunch of teenagers hanging up personal care packages on the fence down there because I was actually at Stella Maris. So it was I do outreach, there. So yeah, so watching her just put out all these beautiful offerings, for the homeless community in that area. And I got a chance to, roll down the window and tell her how wonderful it was that she was serving, which promoted a really cool little conversation. And we exchanged information, and I took a picture of her and her group for them. And, and, and I thought, wow, God is good. I wouldn't have seen that if I was in a big hurry or I had pulled out already. I would have been gone. So I got a chance to see people out there, no matter, even though we're in the middle of this COVID thing, they were all masked up and they were out doing, serving humanity, which I just thought was beautiful. And so, then I ran into a friend, which I wouldn't have happened if I'd left. I got to ride in the car with my son and have a really great conversation. So many amazing things that would not have been possible had I not broke down. Well, the funny part was my car wasn't that broke, thank God. So I had it towed and spent the rest of the day getting back to my schedule, which was great. But again, I think that we're so busy trying to be somewhere else or push things into what our agenda that we're not taking this divine into account that you have a to-do list, but God's got a to-do list too. And so, when we're trying to micromanage things, it creates nothing but chaos and stress and anxiety. And so sometimes we just have to go to that plan B and know that, not everything's going to work out in Marianne Goldweber's time. And that the universe is offering me an opportunity to see it from another perspective. So that's one of the things that I do to create peace is I say, okay, it's not on my time, it's on God's time. So what am I here to see? And I looked around and I saw all kinds of cool things. And I got to be inspired by that. So yeah, Susie. Oh my God, I love my Susie. How you been, girl? Jared talks about you all the time. Yes, so all the energy feels very stuck, but it's not stuck. It's actually moving super, super slow. So we're not supposed to be out there running around. Okay, we're still finishing. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is make a list of things that need finished. Now's the time. We want to be DONE with it. Done, done, done. Because we don't want to look in the past anymore, unless it's just for the lesson and things. And because we're building a whole new future, people. And we can't be wallowing in the past and all the infractions and regrets and resentments. But that's a process to letting those things go and working through that. Okay. And that's what I do with people. I help them create a game plan, a spiritual game plan to make sense of all the things that we've experienced in this life. So that's the fun part of the work I do. So that's how we manifest is we can't get more of anything unless we're accountable to what we've already created. We've manifested absolutely everything you've experienced in your life is a manifestation. And it's been very important, but it's hard to find the lesson in it, the tragedy of it. So that's kind of what I do is I help you, I lift you into this new perspective, which is way up here. So it's kind of like a Monet painting, which is one of my favorite artists. Monet painted with just these little dots. And I get really close up to art in the art museum. So, when you look at it that close, it's just a bunch of beautiful little dots. But the real masterpiece is when you step away, when you step back and you look at how all those dots come together in this much bigger perspective to form this beautiful masterpiece. That's what it's like. The difference between being human and then being spiritual. Okay. Being spiritual brings you above this human stuff and you can see it then from a much higher, clearer perspective. So, so that's kind of what I have to do is lift humans into this spiritual perspective. And that's why when you talk to me, I see things very, very differently from most people. Thank goodness, because like I said, I used to be down on the ground, marching along like a little ant. And now, when you can rise up and have like that vision of eagle where you're just from so high up that you can really be detached from some of the things that go on in this everyday human life. So, yeah, that's what we do for each other. And then I give you the tools. I don't want you dependent on me or someone like me for your answers in life. I want to give you those tools so that when, I'm not here anymore or you're all alone, you know what to do. You're gonna, in fact, we joke about it. I'm gonna start making little bracelets that say, "What would Marianne say?" WWMS. Because that's it. When you get stuck, and you stop and you go, I have a tool for this. So, I know what to do. Most of us have not been prepared for life properly. We have not been parented well. We've been neglected or there's been a lot of dysfunctional conditioning that we've received. And so that's what that awakening does. It helps us to really unravel that. So, what do I do to stay inspired? Well, let me tell you, I do all kinds of funny things. So, I love music. Music to me is a vibration. Well, it is a vibration. But for me, that resonation of music really opens up things for me. So whether it's it opens up an emotional thing. So, music can make you feel all kinds of things, and it's also a wonderful resource for inspiration, to be inspired. Whether it's the lyrics of the song or combined with the music is really such an inspirational thing. So the word inspired actually means to breathe into, in spirit. And if you get a chance on the YouTube channel, I did a video interview with my son Jared, and I'm going to have him on again really soon. I keep saying that, but he's been busy moving and such. And so that word inspired means to breathe into. So those things that pop in your head, those ideas that you get when you're listening to music or you're in some kind of a meditative state, those are really messages. Those aren't, they're visions. They're not just some crazy idea that popped in your head. That popping in your head is a communication. And so, when we get all these good ideas, we don't act on them. And so that's what I do is I've learned to trust that divine input that I get through music or through any creative process. And I allow the universe to breathe through me. And that's how I channel for you. I let the universe really do the talking, and I just translate it into language for you. And so it's very natural and easy for me to do that. And so that's why I teach people how to do that for themselves. So they're not, again, relying on someone like me to do something for them that they can do for themselves. So nobody should tell you what your answers are. You need to decide. I can only lead you to the information so that you can discern that for yourself, and that's the beauty of it. So let's see what we got going on here, peoples. I don't know why my thing keeps knocking me off here. So music is something that I use. Okay, and I have to tell you, I'm like I love to like crazy dance. This used to drive Becca crazy. Like if I had a fun song on the radio, like I don't know, I'm probably gonna date myself now, but like the Village People or any dance music. If that song comes on the radio, I get out of my car in the parking lot at Giant Eagle or wherever, and I'll just do a little dance party by myself. And so that's a wonderful anything that's expressive, anything that lets out energy and emotion, whether it's happy, you want something that's going to lift you. So what's your favorite music? I love old disco. I love rock and roll. I love blues, R&B. I mean, really, anything that has a beat that I can move to that lifts me, so I'm very conscious of, things that inspire me, things that make me feel good, not avoiding, dirges and some of those, negative Nelly songs. But yeah, but again, so music for me is just a huge thing. Now with the advent of the internet, we're able to access information and things that we normally couldn't. So I watch inspirational videos as well, not only just my own, but there's people that I follow who I have followed for years. One of my favorite motivational speakers is Zig Ziglar, and although Zig's on the Blue Road of Spirit now, there's a ton of videos and audio that you can access on YouTube. So whatever your favorite motivational speaker is, uh, it was so funny because he's very funny, and I actually got to meet him in person, which was such a gift. I can't believe that actually happened. But he had such a science to positivity, and his mentors and people that he respected in that industry were like Dale Carnegie, um, you know, and uh, and so listening to Zig Ziglar makes you just laugh at yourself. You have to learn to laugh at yourself, and not to take yourself so seriously. And it's really about setting goals, and it's about um, taking life lessons and utilizing those. And he was a man of faith. So Zig Ziglar is one of my favorite people, and he always said that. He used to call it stinking thinking. Okay, and you get caught in that negative thinking, and you start manifesting all this negative stuff. And he was absolutely right. He's just speaking it in a totally different language, but it's exactly what we talk about when we manifest. So you can't be negative because what you're projecting is fear. What you're projecting is I'm not good enough. And so the universe, like, well, she wants to be afraid, so we're going to send her things to make her afraid. We're asking for it. So changing the way you look at it and then changing your attitude about it, and then finding things that are going to inspire you. You know, whether it's watching my videos, whether it's watching, like I like TD Jakes. He's another one that I like to listen to. He's he's actually a spiritual, religious man, pastor. You know, I have friends that are pastors. So, you know, again, whatever gives you a message, okay, a positive message. I also like to do art. So for me, one of the meditative things that I do is just being still. So anything that will cause stillness so that I can journey in my mind while I'm doing things like um, I love coloring. You know, I love coloring mandalas. You know, I love making those kinds of things. I'm a Pisces. I'm very creative. I can make anything out of, you know, zip ties and tampons, you know. So I love creating things. I don't have as much opportunity to do that as I did. So I also like to sew. I'm not good at it, but I do it anyway. You know, so I'll pull out the sewing machine and I'll make, you know, well, I've been making things for a long time. I used to own an urban tea store and I used to make all my herbal products and, you know, dream pillows and all those things. And so, you know, I started an entire business based on my hobby. And so, yeah, so for me, doing creative things, also opens up that connection to, that divinity, those good ideas, all that creative, inspired thought. Yeah, so learning how to be still and doing creative things, watching and only listening to, you know, positive things. You know, and another problem that we seem to have, and it's funny because Dee Dee just said this as I was going to say it, is we keep watching all this negative stuff. You know, people who are fear mongering, people that are, you know, just, you know, not doing proactive complaining. Okay. I mean, it's one thing to share awarenesses that something's broken, and it's another thing to be the solution for that. Okay. So I do not listen to fear mongers. In fact, you know, when you look at my Facebook page, I've got literally thousands of people. And so, you know, I see everybody's stuff, not everybody's, okay, but you know, because of the volume of people I have, I see, you know, everybody's posts every day. If you guys want to get an idea of if you're positive or if you're negative, okay, I want you to look at your own Facebook page. Just go to your own profile and scroll back and look at what you're posting out there, what you're sharing out there, okay? And it's going to give you a litmus of kind of where you're at, you know? So if people are constantly posting negative things, I don't even respond to it. I actually hide them. Okay, they'll see my stuff, but I do not see theirs. Okay. And so, because I don't want to see all that just complaining and venting and arguing, I'm not doing that. You know, and again, but if I see things that are not right, okay, I will respond. Or even if and I'll cheer you on, you know. So if you guys post positive things or changes that you've made or achievements that you've done, I'll be the first one to put a little heart on that. Now, if you post some idiocy, okay, like any bias or bigotry, okay, I'm on that. All right. And if you don't want to be my friend, that's okay. You can follow me. We don't have to be friends. But if I'm friends with you and you post that stuff, I will say something because I'm bound by this spiritual life to shut down hate. Okay. And I know you don't see it that way, but we're all in this learning curve right now. And we all have to really start just going to other people's perspective. You know, everybody's concerned with what, you know, how it's affecting them, but they're not very concerned with how they're affecting other people. Okay. So yeah, so you take a look at your own page. Go back over the last, you know, 30 posts and look at what you're posting. You know, is it something that this, because that's what you're doing, you're putting it out to the universe, you know, and so the universe is kind of just reading over that, going, oh boy, she really isn't happy and she doesn't, you know, she or he wants, all he does is, you know, spew out negativity, then that's all you're going to get. You're never going to be able to see the beautiful thing because you can't. Okay. And it just feeds that. So if you think of like negative energy as negative and pulling, like it's weighty, whereas the light, you actually have to reach for that. Okay. It takes effort to stay positive. Now, this doesn't mean that I don't deny that there's bad things going on in the world, but I also do my part on some level to be the change, to be the higher, better person if and when I can. So, I can't change all of that, but I sure as shit can change what's in my reality. So I don't align with people in my personal life that are chaotic and drama filled. They have tools, they're accountable, and we do good things out in this world. We don't got time to talk about drama and chaos and other people's bullshit. No time for that. I live that way. I lived that way, and it's awful. And this is why I do outreach, and this is why I do advocacy, because I've done it. I've been there. I've been perpetrated against. I know what that feels like. But there comes a point where we have to work through that process and stop aligning with people that treat us badly. And that's a lot of the work I do, is helping you guys see it from that perspective. So, yeah, so what comes in is what goes out. What you feed yourself with is how well you're going to be. So whether you're feeding yourself physically or whether you're feeding yourself mentally and emotionally, what you're feeding yourself is the product of your thinking. So, we have to be diversified. You have to start looking at other things and maybe learning something new. That gets me inspired. I look up stuff I've never done before, which there's a lot of things, believe it or not, that I haven't done. So one day I was just looking up, things like I love hacks. Okay, I love life hacks. I'm like MacGyver anyway. And so those fun little videos are just fun for me to watch. And it gets me inspired, or I watch some, rehab show about how to rehab something, a house or, a piece of furniture. I might not necessarily do it, but I get inspired by watching other people do it. So yeah, whatever makes you inspired. Now, okay, so your relatives are on the other side and you're sitting on your couch crying. They can't do anything to help you. They can't inspire you. And that's why we have to stick together. And if you're in a shitty place, call somebody. Call me, call somebody. And sometimes, guys, the best way to get positive for me is serving. Okay, the first thing I do when I'm in my pity pot and I'm feeling like things are going my way, I go out and serve. I find some way to do a random act of kindness or take up, like, I'll go and buy like 30 shampoos and drop them off at the sober house. I'll go into the dollar store and I'll pick up all kinds of personal care things and I'll drop those off at an outreach center. There's lots of ways to serve. And let me tell you, when you see people, who don't have what you have, it really, makes you grateful. We really need to learn to be more grateful because everything we've created in our life is a blessing, and we're not satisfied. And, sometimes we have to really just get down to the nitty gritty of gratitude. We're not even saying thank you for what we already have. And so that's why I love serving because that inspires me. It inspires me to connect with other people. You don't have to, you can socially distance and still be connected to people. You can smile, your eyes light up, I have random conversations with folks every day. But serving is a wonderful way to keep yourself inspired because it's not about you. We're giving unconditionally. And most of the time when I go places, I don't tell them who I am. I don't say, hi, here's my offering. I'm Marianne Goldweber. I really try to remain anonymous or I try to scooch out before they catch me. Like I'll, pay for somebody's groceries and I'll, scooch out before they can say thank you. I try not to get found out most of the time. But then there's just places where I just go all the time where I just drop things off and I just drop them off and go, and there's so many places that you can serve right now. There's so many nonprofits out there that could use the help. And if when you're serving, you can even go down to the food bank. You can go down to the Cleveland Food Bank and sort and package up bags of food for folks. You don't have to deal with people directly necessarily. So there's all kinds of ways. So you got to get creative about that. So let's see what we got going on here. We got some good questions here. Oh my God, I love Zig Ziglar. He is the funniest guy. I had a boss named Harry who was one of my mentors in life. And Harry was a huge, oh my God, we were the most awful group. When Harry was the vice president of the company I worked for, And he came in actually as a consultant. And this was my first career in collections. And my training was here's the people, here's what they owe, here's the phone, call them. I had no idea what that was about. Well, anyway, Harry came in and took this ragtag group of people and literally polished them into some of the most professional folks ever. And I owe a huge part of my corporate training to Harry. God bless him. He was like a dad to me. But Harry would make us, okay, because this was an awful negative group of people. Okay, they were awful. And oh, they were just mean to each other. He fired like half the people within a month. He fired half the people because they just were, you couldn't train them. So anyway, so Harry came in and he made us listen to Zig Ziglar tapes every single shift, every morning. Every morning we came in, the first 45 minutes was listening to Zig Ziglar. And it got to the point where we had been through these tapes so many times, I could quote Zig Ziglar and all his little zigisms that he talked about, like getting cooked in the squat and stinking thinking. Oh my God, he had all these stories. He was such a storyteller, and I just loved it. And then when we got an opportunity, he took the whole department, and we went to a Zig Ziglar seminar, and I got to meet Zig, and it was just powerful. So yeah, so you got to, he said, inspiration is like bathing. That's you have to do it every day. Okay, so that's true. You have to, in order to stay positive, you've got to be very conscious about what you're feeding yourself. Now, a lot of the things that I'm very careful of the sources of what I get information from. And so I just do it as like a check-in to kind of see where the world's at. I do not sit on there and and interact with all these people, whether it's on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. I go in, I check on my day. How's the world? How's everybody in my world doing? And I make a few posts with my coffee. And then that's pretty much it, guys. I'm done for the day, unless I'm posting a class or unless I'm posting something else. And then I go make a to-do list, and I have other things I do. I don't fret about the state of the world because as you learn through this spiritual process, there has to be destruction before there's construction. And there's so many broken systems going on right now that have to change. They have to change. I mean, we still have gender issues, we still have racial issues, we still have all this conditioned stuff that people believed that these systems just are not have not ever worked, honestly. But people are feeling empowered now to step up and to speak up, and that's where the conflict comes, because there's a lot of people who don't want things to change because they've been making out the whole time. So they don't want people to wake up, because if they wake up, then they're going to lose their gig, they're going to lose their power, they're going to lose whatever, and they never deserved it in the first place. Oppressing people does not make you powerful. Okay. So that's what's happening. Our whole world is awakening. And there's a lot of people who don't like it. They do not want people to wake up. So they're trying to, snuff out their little candles of light. So all of us lights need to stick together. So that's why you have to find those things that keep you inspired and keep you positive. And you can remain positive in spite of the negativity and the awfulness that's going on in this world. So find yourself getting involved in something. We have to stand for something or we'll fall for anything. So to me, being inspired is trying to be the change, trying to do something that creates change, a positive change, for not only me but for other people. What else we got here? I know Liz. No, Zig has the funniest videos on YouTube. Hi, Kendra, Joanne, Maureen, conspiracy theorists, friends that have turned completely different people. I know. Well, it's really funny. There's the made up conspiracy crap, okay, which is so far out there. Like, see, people are just listening to stuff, guys, over from the same propaganda source. And so that's all they know. They're isolated in their house, they're isolated in their communities. There's no diversity of thought, there's no diversity culturally, there's no diversity on any level. And so they believe that. I mean, it's really awful. But there are conspiracies. There are things going on that have always gone on under the radar that people just really weren't aware of. But it's really hard to separate fact from fiction. Okay. And that's why knowledge is power. If you don't understand something, look it up, educate yourself about it. So if you don't know who these people are, Google them and look up their names and look at, what they're about. I mean, if you go to Wikipedia, which is a very neutral, source of information, but watch your sources, okay? That's very important. So educate yourself. Go to the library, look things up. I mean, you got Google for Christ's sake. There's no excuse for being ignorant right now. And again, when you just keep passing on this awful negative conspiracy shit, um, I'll hide you if you do that. Okay, if you pass on this stuff that you did not verify the source, and this is inaccurate or information, I'll hide you, or I'll say something. Okay, I'll let you know, hey, that's not accurate. And so the best way to cure, um, being manipulated with false information is to educate yourself. Look it up. Look for sources that are reputable, like, Harvard Law or, I mean, look up things and look up lots of different perspectives so that you have a much more comprehensive understanding of the whole thing. And that way, when you hear bullshit come down there, it's bullshit. Hi, Debbie. Christina. Oh my goodness, Christina, that Moon Monday, I'm telling you, I woke up with a banger like a hangover the next day. But again, we're also in the winter. I use a neti pot, so I have sinus issues anyway. I always have some kind of a little headache because of the work and whatever. But yeah, so that's why we have these spiritual tools to go, oh, why do I feel like shit? Oh, it's the full moon. I was, slept crappy. I, didn't go to bed and take care of myself. I didn't take a salt shower. I didn't wash off energy. When you go through that list, you depersonalize that feeling crappy. Yeah, I've seen so much of life, guys, bad and good. I don't, I have one eyebrow. Well, and plus it helps that I'm psychic. But boy, I can see bullshit coming a mile away. No, there is no excuse for ignorance at this point, people. That's why you've got to, check your sources of who you trust and who you get information from. And make sure you educate yourself. Trust yourself to know the truth for yourself. And that way, when you see this stuff, and if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. That is a very valid saying. Okay, just so you know. So I always have one eyebrow up about a lot of things. Yeah, I don't believe anything just because people tell me. I research it and I look it up because I don't want to be ignorant. I don't want to be one more ignorant person spewing ignorant things out in the world. I also have a reputation as a leader, and I did a whole video about leadership. Okay, I have a responsibility. Okay, which responsibility is the ability to respond. Okay, I have a responsibility not only to myself, but to you. Okay, because I'm a leader, because you look to me for guidance. You look to me for, if you're in a good place. If the leader's not in a good place, ain't nobody in a good place. Okay, so I have a responsibility to make sure that whatever information or things that I align you with are are trustworthy. Okay, they have integrity. This is why I don't just align with anybody out here doing this kind of work. So if I talk about other people, it's because I trust them. Okay, I'm never going to introduce you to people just because they, sell Mary Kay or they, fly a certain brand or if you guys send me invitations to like your page, I look at everything first before I align with it. I am very selective about who I align with because I have a responsibility to you to make sure that the information and the things that I present are reputable. I have integrity. Okay. And frankly, there's so many shysters out there. There's so much people peddling bullshit that, I'm very selective of who I even align with in my own life. Okay. So I'm just saying, we need to really stop while we have this time and really look at who you are, what you believe, what are your sources, who are you hanging out with? All of those things are telling the universe whether you're worthy of more. Or we're going to keep manifesting the same dumb shit we've been manifesting for the last 20 years. So yeah, so staying inspired, start really just aligning with things that make you feel good, that make you feel inspired to go out and do those things as well. Find some heroes. I mean, one of my favorite, read some books about some heroes in your life. Dr. Martin Luther King is one of my favorite. Gandhi is another. Okay. The movie Gandhi changed my life because I was a rule breaker. I wasn't somebody who really liked hierarchy. I didn't trust people in power. And the beautiful thing about Gandhi was he was actually an attorney. He was an English trained attorney, and he used the English law against the English and got him kicked out of India through peaceful protest. So again, those things inspire me, those people, Mother Teresa, read some books about some of these famous people. And the sad part is a lot of these people were assassinated or, weren't really appreciated at the time. Itzhak Rabin was another one of my heroes. Okay. Um, and so again, when you look up these powerful people who were change makers, who were leaders, their stories inspire me. So I want to emulate them. You know, I mean, I love Jesus. I love Mohammed. I love all the spiritual teachers because they spoke a message of love and truth and charity and all these wonderful things. God, if Jesus knew what, I mean, really, Jesus is coming and he's pissed. Okay. This is not what Jesus is about at all. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to get off my horse, but I'm just saying, in order to stay inspired, we have to be conscious about what we eat, what we feed ourselves, what we watch. And then what are we doing? Okay. If you want to get inspired, go spend time with kids. Do a video where you read children's stories or you can volunteer to be somebody who does sight words with kids. You could tutor. There's all kinds of things that we can do from the comfort of our home. You don't have to necessarily be out there in the world to do these things. Like I said, when you're in the grocery store anyway, if or not, offer to donate something. There's lots of ways to serve. And so for me, getting off my own pity pot is that's how I do it. Is I stay inspired those ways. So yeah, so let's see what else we got here, and I'll take a couple call-ins. Okay. Now, just so you guys know, there's a lot of things I cannot answer in this environment. These are very quick things. I may not even call you, but I will answer you on here. Okay. Let's see. How's the house coming, Laura? Oh, at the end of the month? Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Although it's already been smudged, right? You won't need me to do it for you. I can't wait to see the end result. And you deserved all new things anyway, Laura. I mean, when you see that sometimes these tragic things in our life, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't get all these other things. I mean, in retrospect, the worst day is ultimately sometimes the best day. And if that didn't happen, all these other wonderful, amazing things wouldn't have happened. Now, when we're dealing with death or tragedy, it's so much different, okay? And if I can help you guys with that, don't hesitate to give me a call. Let go and let God. Oh, I know, Crystal, thank you for that. I wrote a whole post on this on Facebook the other day about letting go and letting God. Again, you know, worry and anxiety is like micromanaging God's to-do list while avoiding your own. If you guys really want to let go and let God, get accountable. Make a list of things you actually have control over and start executing that. Okay? And that gets you out of the way so that God can work the miracles behind the scenes. We're in the way. Worry and fear is just negative. That's another negative thing. So, yeah, so let go and let God. That's easier said than done, folks. Okay? But you have to believe and trust that there is this divine thing that is working in your benefit. Believe it or not. I know it doesn't always seem that way. Hi, Brianna. Oh, it's funny. I work in the recovery community too, okay? They have so many great sayings. If you guys ever want some motivational things to read, go on Google and I want you to Google AA slogans, okay? You'll love them because the interesting thing about recovery, okay, and we're all should be on a 12-step program, honestly. It gives you 12 very distinct steps to figuring your shit out and getting accountable to your side of the road, okay? And so I know a lot of you guys are in recovery as well as I, and I'm telling you, some days I stop and I say, okay, I'm wigging out. What should I do? First thing, surrender. Let go and let God. While I'm worrying about what God's doing, I'm not worrying about what Marianne Goldweber's doing. And turning that over to something bigger than you and saying, this is out of my hands. Okay. That takes a level of faith. And so, yeah, if you guys want to get inspired, you'll be putting like AA sayings all over your house because those are some of the best sayings as 12-step sayings. Aw. I know. So when we come out of the full moon, and that's why the more you listen to these videos I do and take classes, you're just going to know that moon happens every 28 days. So it goes new to full to new in 28 days. And so the full moon always happens 13 days after the new moon. And so you're going to know that's not a day to go to Walmart. Okay, that's a day to stay home and take care of yourself. Yeah, I really try to avoid public places on full and new moons because not me, it's the other folks that are wiggy out there. Hi, Gabrielle. Hi, Stephanie, Lori, Paulette. Hey, Connie. Oh, Lynette, how are you? Tammy. Tell Heather hello. Yeah, so poor Laura had a house fire, took out her whole house. She's been living away for how many months? 9 months. Oh my goodness. Hey, Billy. So Crystal says, I made the mistake and went to Walmart this week. Couldn't figure out why I felt so terrible until I saw the moon. So my sister and I went to Walmart. We went, it was like really, really, what time was it? It was late. It was really late. It was like eight, no, 9 or 10 o'clock at night. There's nobody there. It was awesome. And yeah, I go in, buzz out. I don't mess around in there. But again, I already know going in there that that place is filled with energy. So I kind of prepare myself for that. I just go, this, whatever you're going to face in there is not yours. So it's kind of like a Teflon. So if you guys get a chance to sign up for that class, they repeat every month. But the care, in understanding your empathic connection is a game changer. Okay, once you understand energy and you understand people and like your own energy and why it happens like this, you're going to feel like a million times better and less victimized. Oh, that's a great saying, Dennis. So Dennis said, my friend Hans used to say, fear only lives in the house we build, right? How true. You can't have faith and fear at the same time. So if God is love and faith, okay, then what's fear? It's the dark thing, the negative thing that's pulling you away from the light. So if you shine enough light on the darkness, it can't exist. So that's why we want to shine. You know, I know who I am. Know what I know. I'm confident in who I am now. I I don't give energy to things because and this is where we get back to that whole tug of war talk about, okay? So my ego doesn't need to be right anymore. I know what I know, and if I don't know, I'll ask and I'll educate myself, okay? So I don't walk around ignorant. I try not to. And so I'm always learning something. And so anyway, but when you've got people who are in an argument, okay? So you've got one person with one perspective and you got somebody else with their other perspective, and they're literally trying to change the other person's way of seeing it. Okay, there comes a point where when you're in that battle of tug and war with somebody, it's a no-win. Okay, so you got to just let go of the rope, because guess what? The game's over. But when you're pulling and they're pulling and you're pulling, that's a battle between two people who don't want to be wrong. That's the egos. Okay, so again, I don't need to be right. people will find out eventually whether they're right or wrong, but I'm not here to beat it over their head until they do that. Because nobody could beat it over my head when I was ignorant. In fact, if you had come up to me and said, Marianne, you don't know what you're talking about, I'd be like, really? I was awful. I was very willful and controlling, and I did not want to admit that I was ignorant about things. But now I have no trouble admitting I don't know. I have no trouble doing that. All right. So, what keeps you guys inspired? The beauty of leaving these videos up is that you get a chance to go back in the comments and you guys can interact with each other. So if you don't remember what we talked about, just go back to the video. I saved them all on Facebook as well. And yeah, watch the video and then watch the comments, and you'll see the same folks on here all the time. Like you'll see Dennis and Micah and Laura. These guys, I've known them for a long time, so they're on here and they follow me for a very long time. And so once you get to know the other people in the village, when we all get together again, or we go, in a setting where we're public, you'll get to meet some of these people, and that's what it is. Is the village is really a collection of awakening people who, these aren't necessarily people who, are, super religious, or, they're not extreme in any sense of the imagination. And so I collect a very pragmatic group of people. Most of them have, had difficulties in their life, and that's why we find each other. And so we're all out here keeping each other inspired, because that's what we got to do. It takes a village. It takes a village. All right, I'm gonna look at my text messages and see who's texted me. We'll give them a call. All right, let's give Jennifer a call. See what her question is tonight. Oh, speaker. Mm-hmm. All right, Jennifer's not available. All right, next. If you guys text me, make sure you're available. All right, let's call Shannon. I want to make you talk on air, Shannon.
Hello.
Well, hi, Shannon. It's Marianne, and you're live.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Did you
I'm
want me
good.
to? Did you
Up and
want me to
down.
do
I
the?
just figured out
Well, you
good
texted me,
polar
and I
thing.
hadn't had any call-ins, so I just wanted to get to you. So this is Shannon, everyone. She's amazing. She's could be the poster child for spiritual awakening. Oh my God, I love you so much. You poor thing. She's been through hell and back in the last couple of years. Um, yeah. So let's see what. So your dad's hanging out with your grandma. He's
Yeah.
he's talking about hanging out with your grandma, and they're like partners in crime. Okay, so I venture to say they're going around doing things together, probably at people's houses, if I know how that works out. Hold on. He doesn't want you to think he's haunting you. He's just trying to let people know he's around. So there's not like
That's
they
funny.
see dead people don't send you. Okay, just so you guys know, uh, we're talking about Shannon's dad who passed away. Dead people don't send you, like, they don't need us. Okay, once you leave this body, okay, and you leave this human life, you're done with the material aspects. You don't need stuff. You don't need people. The only thing you take with you is love. And they have God, Jesus, angels, and all your ancestors over there helping them. Okay, so they don't need me as a medium. They don't need you to be going out on some crazy missions, okay, for them. So they're just trying to let you know, Shannon, they're around. Okay? So there's no like burning message. There's
Okay.
nothing that you have to be doing for him. So yeah, he's
What has
not
been
trying to
your
give you, he's not trying,
experience with him the past couple weeks?
you mean in dream time?
In dream time and like in awake state.
Okay. Well,
I
again,
feel like he's always
if
there.
at first those things happen just because they're really trying to bring us comfort. But I sometimes they're also telling you to back off. Like I feel like that you're getting yourself involved in things that aren't your business. So he's telling you, I'm on this. You need to just go find something else to do. He goes, she's such a good girl. You're trying too hard, honey. We're getting back in the control car.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
I know, but that's why you're feeling some kind of way. So guys, y- y- okay, even when you have, and a spiritual awakening is not one day. It's a constant process of awakening, okay? It's just usually there's just one giant or a few giant things that knock you out of your illusion. But the process of awakening, I mean, imagine doing this stuff for 20, 30, 40 years, and all of a sudden you know, you're not supposed to do that anymore. Okay, it's like three steps forward, one step back. Does that make sense, Shannon? And so when we hit a
Completely.
trigger, sometimes we'll go back to some old patterns or old behavior. It's just going to and I'm telling you, everything now is so squirrely, girl. You're not alone. But again, I feel like when we don't have control over things, sometimes the first thing we want to do is micromanage it. So when you catch yourself going to do that, I literally say out loud, "Stop, Marianne, stop," and I'll go sit down. I'll go sit down and I just get still for a second and I breathe because anxiety and fear creates chaos. And then I stop and go, is this my chaos or somebody else's chaos? Okay. If it's somebody else's, then I just pray for them and I just push that energy off of me, you know, because there's a fine line again, guys, between helping and interfering. And so, yeah, I'm sorry, Shannon, that you maybe this is something we can talk about you and me when it's not on air with all these people.
Absolutely. Because I feel
Aw.
like I'm trying to micromanage.
Oh, girl, I'm telling, well, but that's all we knew to do for so long that this new behavior, this is why people work a recovery program because those 12 steps are something you go back to every single day. And so we've got to create spiritual tools. This is why I'm telling you guys, we build your spiritual toolbox so that when you hit one of these moments, you have a tool for that. You know what to do. Do I need to surrender? Do I need to, write out my resentments? Do I, there's a process to it. And so never be without information or insight. So yeah, your dad said him and grandma are on it. And I feel like they're spending some time with your mom.
That's good. That's great.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that's
you
what
bet.
they want you to just get out of the way and let them do what they do.
Okay.
Okay. One day my son,
Sounds good.
so here's my story that's coming from the other side. So one day my son decided he was going to parent me. I'm like, dude, I'm a grown ass woman. I've been doing this for a very long time. And again, we don't always really understand what someone needs. You know what I mean? We think we know what they need, but that's from our, kind of, I mean, I don't know how old you are, Shanna, but you're not 60, okay? So unless you're a 60-year-old woman, you really wouldn't know what a 60-year-old woman really needs, given her,
Right.
you know. So it's from although albeit it's loving, okay, but it's not always helpful. And yeah, we might not agree with what's going on, but it's not our life. It's not our journey, you know. It's hard sometimes. So anyway, I'm gonna call you back when I'm done, and we'll chat for a
Okay.
sec, okay? We'll say goodbye to
All right.
everybody. Thank you for calling, Shannon.
Bye.
Have a great night,
Goodbye.
honey. Bye bye. All right, kids, that was fun. All right, all right, kids. Okay, so I have a question from Dee Dee. She said her dad passed in November, also has diagnosed with severe spinal stenosis, and I'm facing back surgery next week. Okay. I'm so sorry, Dee Dee. And I know your dad had passed. Hold on. Well, it took him a minute to really realize that he's on the other side. Okay, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if he died suddenly or even though you're surrounded with ancestors, you're still like, oh, this is fun. This is some kind of a weird dream. But now he understands that he's actually on the other side. And so he's got his wait finger up. He's like telling you to wait, okay? So there he's not good at this yet. Okay, so it's going to take some time. And we also have to work through a part of our grief before they're actually allowed to communicate with you. So I feel like when he's telling me to he's holding up his finger for wait, okay, that means I don't think he's necessarily able to communicate yet because he's still working on some things. So you're going to have to be patient. Um I feel like the surgery is a good thing, but I think there's some emotional stuff that you need to let go of. Okay. Anytime we look at disease in the body, I look at it holistically. So when I talk to people who have thyroid trouble, most of the time they've repressed what they say, okay, over their whole life. So when you hold or block energy in a space, it gets diseased there, okay? So when you meet people with thyroid trouble, usually they have a hard time speaking their truth. When you meet people with heart trouble, sometimes they've never let go of any of the hurts that they've experienced or their broken hearts. Okay. So sometimes we have to have an emotional purge of that area in order to help facilitate healing there. When we talk about back issues, okay, those are people who never ask for help and never feel supported. So they feel let down by other people. So this is an opportunity, Dee Dee, for you to really stop and allow yourself to feel, and let go of and start. And again, sometimes the universe is going to put us in a position where we have to ask for help. You're not going to really have a choice. You're going to be incapacitated. And so, for somebody who likes to, be the doer and serving others all the time, this is an opportunity to finally do some self care and reflection. So, if I can help with that, let me know. But your dad's waving you. He's also talking about like a Polish or his mother or this ancestral woman. He just wants you to know he ran into his Polish grandma. Anyway, that's kind of fun. Well, thank you guys. And if you have anything else you want to talk about, just give me a call on the phone and schedule a one-on-one. It's so comprehensive. You'll have such a great, first of all, you feel a million times better. Secondly, we give you a spiritual understanding and a game plan. So you feel like you can go out and actually execute some change in your life. And there's a million testimonials. If you guys want to, for those of you that have known me a long time, if you want to put a little positive affirmation on these notes on this page, just to encourage other people, I would thank you greatly for that. If you guys ever take anything from the videos and you feel like you want to pay it forward on any level, I do have a donate button on my website and I have a donate button on my YouTube account. So you can always, throw me a couple bucks and it, keeps me out here doing stuff. So I am so grateful for you guys tonight. So again, shine. When you're shiny, that scares the shit out of people. Okay, they don't know what to do with that, you know? And so, you don't have to turn it on all the way, but you can, again, happy people scare people. They don't really understand. You know, when you're bright light and you're shiny and you're full and you're excited about things, that illuminates people's darkness. Okay, so people sometimes just want to put you out because the darkness can't stand the light. Okay, and if you guys take that empath class, you're going to learn all about this stuff. And so stop taking people so personally. They're just broken and angry and hurt. Okay, and that's why I work with people like that, because I don't take it personal. I do not. I mean, even if somebody came up to me and said, "Marianne, you're a raven fucking bitch," I'd be like, "Wow, I'm so sorry that you feel that way," because I can't change how you see me. I can only be my best version. So, yeah, that's an arrival, people. You know, I don't personalize people's projections. So, but that took me a very, very long time to learn how to do that. Okay. And it started by liking myself and getting confidence in myself and trusting my own knowing. And educating myself. That's the stuff that builds confidence, going out and doing things, stepping out of your comfort zone, trying new things. So, anyway, stay inspired. And if you're not, call me and we'll get you on a game plan. I also do coaching. So if you guys want to do something more long term where it's 3 months, one session a month for 3 months, coaching is $60 an hour. And we do it in a section of three. So we give you all the tools. Man, poo, that 3 months, you are loaded for bear. You have everything you need to really get started and find your divine connection. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. You guys are always so much fun. And although I feel like I'm sitting here talking to myself, I know you're out there. And I love call me on the phone. Don't just text me because I get millions of text messages, guys. And sometimes I don't see those for 3 days or more, depending on, they're on every platform. So, and people send me, random messages like just their phone number and they don't tell me what they want, or I'll call them and then they don't call me back. I mean, so there's a lot of that back and forth stuff. If you just call me, I answer the phone most of the time. If I can't get to the phone, I will not answer, but I will answer my voicemail. So thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope you stay inspired. It's not going to stay stuck forever, but if you guys got any finishing to do, now is the time to do it. Okay? And if you have trouble doing that, give me a call and I'll be more than happy to help you. Okay? The universe loves you, God loves you, and I love you. We're in this together, guys. That's why we call it a village. All right? Hope you have a great night.